to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you for joining us this evening. First, we have the approval of the minutes, which is a motion approving the March 11th, 2026 minutes of the regular meeting of the town board. Can I have a motion? Thank you, Sue, and seconded.
Second.
Thank you, Matt. And any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, and it's carried. Okay, we just ask you to keep it. Thank you. We do have a bid opening. So Fuller Hollow Road over Fuller Hollow Creek Culvert relining bids were opened on 3/20/26 at 2 p.m. in the town boardroom. Town clerk Deborah Wallace and town engineer Thomas Sullivan opened the sealed bid. And I'm going to massacre your name, so please forgive me. Okay. Okay.
Stevenson.
Thank you. Construction company, sorry. 1 Burke Avenue, Binghamton, New York, and the bid was $646,000. Thank you, and thank you for the help. We don't have a public hearing this evening, but we do have a public comment section. So the public comment is the opportunity for the public to ask a question or to make a statement in regards to the SWMP, which is a Stormwater Management Program plan. The plan can be found on the town website on the engineering homepage. So I'm going to open the public comment section. So would any member of the public wish to speak on the plan? On the plan. And okay, so we're going to close the public comment section on the Stormwater Management Program plan. And thank you, Connor, for coming. And just some supervisors updates. So we have the carousel project proceeding. And I really, really want to thank the Friends of the Carousel. They're up and organized, and they will be raising donations to fund the construction and the restoration of the carousel. So I really want to thank them for volunteering their time and efforts and their incredible amount of energy. So I really want to thank them. They are up and running, and as soon as they give me some contact information, but they do have something on Facebook, so please go and check it out in the meantime. So also the Recreation Department, the 2026 summer flyer is now available. So if you're interested in any programs for the summer, so you can go to vestalrecreation.com. Please see the website for details for everything. The last family swim at Vestal High School will be on Saturday, March 28th. The annual free Easter egg hunt will be held at Arnold Park on Saturday, March 28th, 2026 at 11 a.m. And winter parking rules are still in effect, and they will be until the end of March, which is March 31st. Remember, please do not park your vehicles on the road from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. or else they could be summoned. The New York State burn ban has also started, and that is in effect March 16th to May 14th, 2026. And that's it for my supervisor's announcements and privilege of the floor. So this is the first public comment section, and this is for agenda items only. There's a general town business one at the end, but these are for agenda items. So if you have something for the agenda item, we just ask that each speaker must only speak regarding town business, be respectful of all elected officials, town employees, members of the audience, and all other persons. No personal attacks are allowed. Wait to be recognized. State your name and address before speaking. We ask them to speak at the podium and speak for no more than 3 minutes. Be brief and to the point. Address your comments to the board only, and only speak during the designated public comment section. And in order to ensure an orderly, productive meeting, residents will be heard before non-residents, and speakers will speak in entirety, then will be addressed by the board. So would anybody like to speak on an agenda item?
You can't have a. Oh, push the button. Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you.
Glenn, you're always on the ball. Always count on you. So you can't afford a court, but you can afford a merry-go-round. And you have the dubious distinction here of, well, not only being one of the most prosperous towns in Binghamton, if not the most prosperous town in Broome County, but the distinction of not having your own courtroom. I think that's hard to swallow for people when they get their tax bills, that you don't have a basic service like a courtroom, but you're fiddling around with a foundation on a merry-go-round. Question is, what happens if you don't get the grant? What happens? How much is the total project? Courtroom is a necessary service and it produces revenue for the town. All those tickets that are given out, tickets by the state police and the Broome County Sheriff, it's all revenue. But you can't afford the place where justice and guilt and innocence are determined. If something happens to a town resident here, has to go to Johnson City to pursue justice. You're not embarrassed by this. This was supposed to be a change, you know. This was supposed to be something new, responsive to the people. Had a good long time to work on this issue. So it's not time. You just let time go by without addressing it. Fire station went up pretty fast. I think what you need is the Friends of the Vestal Town Court. I think that's what you needed. Yeah. So it's utterly ridiculous. Anybody that believes that this is progress, that this is moving Vestal in the right direction, it's not. It's not. It's an inconvenience to the residents. Again, somebody gets a ticket in Vestal. Somebody has an accident, whatever they have to do at the court, they have to now go to Johnson City. How can Johnson City, which is smashed and had been financially smashed for a long time since EJ's left, how can they afford a court and you can't? Maybe people in Vestal were interested in other things, hiring their friends, hiring their cronies, stopping public speakers from talking. Maybe that's the problem. But on this issue, you've clearly failed 100%. You're inconveniencing the residents for no good reason. There's architects, there's artificial intelligence, there's Butler buildings, there's existing buildings here that could have been leased, and you didn't do it. Shame on you.
Okay. First of all, I'm not going to go on, but I do want to clarify the last thing in the world we wanted was not to keep our courts here. We did everything possible. We had our town engineers assess this building, talked about gutting and redoing the next building across. We talked about every layout, and here they actually drew up plans for a court within the other area over there. The problem is square footage. There's no way to do it. And even if we gutted the building next to us, it's millions of dollars to an old building that has all kinds of issues, including asbestos. So trust me, if we had any choice in the world, or if we could have kept them here, we would have. We looked into every possible thing. We talked about flipping the sides of the building. We talked about taking down walls. We talked about what we could do over there and what we were allowed to do with the court district. And certainly nobody wanted to spend the money and nobody wanted our personnel to leave us. But unfortunately, we had no other choice. Our first priority is the safety of the people who work for us. And even though they work for the courts, they are our responsibility and their safety comes first. And there was no other choice in keeping them here, unfortunately. But would any other member of the public wish to speak on an agenda item? Okay, there'll be a second section at the end if you want to speak on another town topic. And with that, we're going to go on to the agenda. So we don't have any resolutions or motions for tonight, but we can start with Public Works. So Matt,
Public Works, 8.1, resolution authorizing Highway Superintendent Donnie Yonker to advertise for uniform bid requests on March 30th, 2026, with a bid opening of Thursday, April 10th, 2026.
thank you. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Sue, and seconded.
Seconded.
Thank you, Glenn. And any discussion? Thank you. So all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, and it's carried. And Finance, Sue?
9.1, resolution for approval of a water department budget amendment to transfer $399 from the operating expense and supplies line W 8310-4060 to the books, periodicals, dues, and subscriptions line W 8310-4490 to cover 2026 New York Rural Water Association dues.
Thank you. So can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Matt, and seconded.
Seconded.
Thank you, Robert. Any discussion? Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, and it's carried.
9.2, resolution for approval of a highway department budget amendment to transfer $15,000 from the sale of equipment line D 2665 to the purchase machinery and equipment line D 5130.2200 to utilize a portion of the $27,375 received from the sale of highway department vehicles to obtain a new excavator, ditch grading bucket, and a high-pressure steam pipe cleaning machine.
Okay, thank you. So can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Robert, and seconded.
Second.
Thank you, Matt. So any discussion? Okay, thank you. So all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed?
Hmm.
Thank you, Ms. Carried. I just want to remind everybody, our Monday meetings are when we talk and we discuss and we go over every detail of every resolution and everything that's being contemplated. So sometimes I think it looks quick, but there's been a lot of time and effort in each one of these things that we're voting on tonight. So I'm sorry, Sue.
9.3, resolution to approve $9,570 as the one-time cost of services needed for the court move to Johnson City. Itemized list included in addendum.
Thank you. So can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Glenn, and seconded.
Seconded.
Thank you, Robert. Any discussion?
Hmm.
Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed?
Hmm.
Thank you, and it's carried.
9.4, resolution approving approximately $76,794.01 to expenses for the court move to Johnson City for the remainder of the year. Itemized list included in addendum.
Thank you. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Glenn, and seconded.
Second.
Thank you, Matt. So any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, and it's carried.
9.5, resolution authorizing the transfer of funds in the amount of $550,000 from town general fund to the carousel budget line H 2512.5031 for the construction of a foundation and protective structure and expectation of state grant.
Thank you. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Glenn, and seconded.
Seconded.
Thank you, Robert. Any discussion?
I just want to say that I'm nervous about how fast this is moving. And so I'm not going to be able to vote yes on this at this time.
Okay, so I'll do 3 ones. So, so can it, I'll just poll everybody. So Matt, how do you vote?
No.
And Sue?
No,
And Glenn?
Aye.
Mhm. Robert?
Aye.
Okay, and I vote aye.
9.6, resolution authorizing the supervisor to sign a contract with Excelis for renewal of stop loss coverage.
Thank you. So can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Glenn. And Matt, could you do second?
Second.
Thank you. So any discussion? Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, Ms. Carey.
9.7, resolution authorizing the town supervisor to send a letter of authorization to participate in an association of towns feasibility study without cost or obligation to the town to assist municipalities with health insurance.
Thank you. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Glenn, and seconded.
Seconded.
Thank you, Robert. And any discussion?
I would just like to comment on this, that
Mm.
in the past, we have done these sorts of studies and been able to form a consortium so that the more people that you have involved, the cheaper the cost. So this has proved to be very beneficial to us as an organization in the past.
Okay, thank you. So all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Ms. Carey. Okay, Sue personnel?
10.1, authorization to change the employee handbook. Section 807, coverage and eligibility. The town will make available medical and dental insurance coverage to full-time employees, full-time appointed officials, full-time elected officials, and those part-time positions specified in section 805 of this handbook, and their eligible dependents upon retirement. Employees are only eligible for health and benefits in retirement after completion of their required full term of service. Spouses of all town employees may become ineligible for benefits due to court orders such as divorce or legal separation.
Thank you. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Matt, and seconded.
Seconded.
Thank you, Glenn. And any discussion? Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Ms. Carey. And Robert? Planning and zoning?
11.1, resolution for the town supervisor to sign supplemental agreement number 1 with Fisher Associates for the Fuller Hollow Road over Fuller Hollow Creek culvert lining. This project is funded by the NYS DOT Bridge New York Culvert Program. The town will be reimbursed 100%. The supplemental agreement is for $132,000.
Thank you. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Sue, and seconded.
Second.
Thank you, Matt. Any discussion?
Can't beat 100% reimbursement.
Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Ms. Carey.
11.2, resolution authorizing retroactive approval for the town supervisor to sign a letter of support for Trust for Public Lands application to acquire key riverfront parcels along the Susquehanna River on behalf of the town.
Thank you. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Glenn, and seconded.
Second.
Thank you, Matt. Any discussion? Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Ms. Carey.
11.3, resolution authorizing the town supervisor to sign a general land use agreement with Bet and Ring LLC for the purpose of storing construction equipment and material on the town-owned property located between 604 Vestal Parkway West and Choconut Creek.
Thank you. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Sue. And Matt, would you second?
Second.
Thank you. So any discussion? Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Ms. Carey. Okay, so public safety, do you have anything, Sue?
No report.
Thank you. And so Glenn, administration.
13.1, resolution authorizing the dog troll officer to attend the 2026 Webster Dog Troll Educational Seminar. The cost is $160 for the conference, $259 for the hotel for 2 nights, as well as cost of mileage and dinner for 2 nights.
Thank you. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Sue, and seconded.
Seconded.
Thank you, Robert. So any discussion? Thank you. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Ms. Carey.
13.2, resolution to approve the request from Patrick Harnan, Recreation Planner, for town board approval to accept a $5,500 grant from the Step Into Swim Foundation to be used for the hiring of 1 additional swim instructor to support more swimming lessons for children. The money will be deposited into line A 7180.1020.
Thank you. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Robert, and seconded.
Second.
Thank you, Sue. So any discussion? Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, and it's carried.
13.3, resolution authorizing Vestal Little League to hold their opening day parade on Saturday, April 18th, 2026 at 8:45 a.m. The league is requesting to have their parade staging area being in the town hall / water department parking lots beginning at 8 a.m. The league will be working with the police department for the support that is needed with road closures and traffic control during the parade. In the case of inclement weather, they are requesting Sunday, April 19, 2026 as an alternate date.
Thank you. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Matt, and seconded.
Seconded.
Thank you, Robert.
Mm.
And any discussion? Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Ms. Carey.
Resolution to approve the request from Melissa Astucia, museum planner, for town board approval to accept a $500 Vision Cares grant to be applied to the Intergenerational Decades Dance on June 5th from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Central Junior High School.
Thank you. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Sue, and seconded.
Seconded.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you, both of you, but, so any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Ms. Carey.
Resolution authorizing Melissa Restuccia, museum planner, use of the town-owned parking lot and lawn area on the west side of the museum on Thursday, June 4th, 2026, as part of the museum 50th anniversary celebration.
Thank you. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Sue, and seconded.
Second.
Thank you, Matt. And any discussion? Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And it's carried. And Sue, receiving file?
Warrants 11C, 11G, 12C, 12G, 12M, 12T. These are the weekly bills that have been paid and filed. Change of tenant, 2505 Vestal Parkway East, Suite 6B to 7A, Vestal, New York, 13850. Change of tenant 140 Vestal Parkway East, Vestal, New York, 13850. Supervisor's monthly report, February 2026.
Thank you. We don't have any petitions or protests. We don't have any old business, but we do have new business. And that is 16.1, which is a resolution to hire Robert Transu. Okay, I'm probably massacring his name, I'm sorry. At a rate of $30 per hour for 16 hours a week as bailiff for Vestal Court. So can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Sue, and seconded.
Seconded.
Thank you, Robert. So any discussion? Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, and it's carried. Okay, I don't have any supervisors announcements because I did it before. So we're moving on to the committee chair comments and updates. And Sue, did you have something?
Yes, I have several. I would like to begin with fire. With the Vestal Fire Department is mourning the loss of former Fire Chief Douglas Rose, who passed away on Friday, March 20, after more than 50 years with the department. Rose served as Station 1 Fire Chief from 2005 to 2023 and Department Chief from 2008 to 2010. And so I would ask that everybody join us in a moment of silence for Chief Rose. Okay, continuing with public safety, fire, the New York State annual burn ban, as Maria said in the meeting, is in effect from March 16 through May 14, prohibiting the burning of brush, leaves, and sticks to reduce wildfire risk. EMS is operating smoothly. Please be sure that there is a pathway to your door, no lawnmowers or anything in front of the door, so the EMS crews can quickly access the building in case of an emergency. Time is of the essence. Police, we would like to wish Officer Angeline the best of luck on his retirement from the Vestal Police Department after 20 years in law enforcement. Under finance, supervisors' reports are up to date. The 2025 independent audit preparing for annual financial reporting to OSC will be conducted by Drescher and Malik LLP of Elmira, New York. They will conduct the audit in April. Grant reimbursement processes are in process. Personnel, Clerk's Office, the Vestal Town's Clerk's Office would like to extend a warm welcome to our new second Deputy Town Clerk, Amanda Sispansky. She spelled it for me. I know I'm saying it right. Okay. Recreation Department, as Maria said, come to the annual Easter egg hunt on Saturday. It's at 11 o'clock. It's at Arnold Park, and it's a heck of a lot of fun. There's nothing cuter than all those little kids running around. So please come join the Recreation Department. Applications for lifeguards and playground instructors are being accepted at this time. And please check the Town of Vestal Recreation website for the summer recreation flyer. There's a ton of offerings, but you have to register now before classes are filled. And then I have, for your listening pleasure, a public safety good neighbor story. Approximately a month ago, a tour bus from Ottawa, Canada was transporting students on a field trip and was disabled with 2 flat tires on Route 17 by Freihoffer's Bakery. The students and chaperones exited the bus and were running across Route 434. Vestal Fire Station 3 rounded everyone up and brought them to the station in Ross Corners, where they turned on the television and ordered pizzas to feed everyone. The adults were given information to call local hotels in case they ended up stranded overnight, and a service was located to assist with repairing and changing out the tires. Everyone was fed, the tires were changed successfully, and the bus returned to Ottawa at approximately 11 p.m. that night, knowing that their U.S. neighbors in Vestal, New York, were happy to help them and bring them home safely. And that's the conclusion of my report. There had to be a story.
Thank you. Does any other committee chair have anything to report?
Yeah, I would like to remind people that a week from this Saturday on April 4th, the Friends of the Carousel will have a rummage sale to raise funds for the carousel. It's from 9 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon on 113 George Street in Vestal. And the Friday before, April 3rd, they are accepting donations of goods to put in the rummage sale. So if you have anything in your home that works fine, ready to get rid of, you can take it to the rummage sale. There are a few exceptions. So I would encourage you to go to their Facebook page at Friends of Vestal Carousel. And there you can find all the information on what they will and will take and when the time frames are.
Thank you. Does any other committee chair have anything?
Yeah, I'd just like to ask the public to be a little bit patient with our public works crews as we come into spring here. I know that as the weather gets nice, the tendency is to clean our yards and put brush out, and we want it gone the next day usually. But we're still at the tail end of winter, and based on what this winter's been, there's a high likelihood that we'll see another snow event. And I would also like to thank Melissa Restuccia. She does an amazing job over there at the museum. It's nice to go by there and see a little bit of life going on. And when you stop in, she's constantly reworking the displays, and she'll have a Little League display coming up here pretty soon. And then the Little League Parade, I'd like to encourage you to get out to that if you can. A lot of the kids really look forward to that, especially being the kickoff to baseball season. And I'd like to thank all of our community supporters that support that organization.
Thank you. Okay. Anybody else, Robert?
Just to work on that butterfly garden. Looking forward to that in Mittendorf.
Okay. The board's going to get an email afterwards. Okay. But it's not something we can do at the meeting.
No.
Thank you all. So now we come to our last public comment section. So that is on other town business topics. So the same rules apply. If anybody has any questions, please ask. But would anybody like to speak? Yes, sir.
Evening, Marty King. I live in Vestal, Foster Road. I stopped in the assessor's office a couple weeks ago.
Mm.
And I met apparently the new assessor. Took a little time for her to come to the counter. When she did, she had some earphones on and she told me, quote unquote, she was taking an online course on how to be an assessor. There was another gentleman who was a deputy assessor that was hired out of Minnesota. I just have a few questions about the Minnesota hire. And now there's an Indeed ad for a third assessor's position. And then I'm hearing rumors of the town maybe being revaled again at a cost of over $1 million. And I'm hearing that in order for that to happen, some companies got to get brought in. And then I'm hearing other information about other either assessors or deputy assessors being brought in to aid the 2 or 3 that are there to gain information on properties in the town that are either completely inaccurate on the assessment cards, way over or under assessed. And I'm just want to have some clarification there
Sure.
on what is going on, because in the last 6 months, obviously Mark and Colleen are not there. That's 5 to 6 different people sitting in that position. And in a town like the town of Vestal, which is the #1 community in the entire county, and now we're in tax grievance season, and if you did not like Mark for how he was, how he conducted business, how he talked to people, he shut people down at that counter when they tried to screw the town on money. And I know right now, since he's gone, there are people trying to file tax grievance cases on properties they know are worth a hell of a lot more money than what they have appraised and are going to present. And at least he stopped those people from trying to prevent these fictitious and phony appraisals to get their taxes grieved and their assessments grieved. I just kind of want to know what's going on, because my office is getting called weekly on it now because they realize Mark and Colleen are gone. And, sharks are circling the water and they're going to start bringing in stuff to the town. And who is going to do the grievance work? And is the current assessor competent enough to sit there and review those appraisals and guess a yes or no in the assessment? It's a concern. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to answer you now, but if you want to say after, I can definitely talk to you
Sure.
about everything. Okay. So first of all, let me reassure anybody, there were 3 full-time positions there. And between retirements and Mark leaving, there were 3 openings. So there's not going to be 5 people. There's not going to be any new positions. But with anything, you want to build out with people who are qualified, competent, and are going to do the job well. Vestal is a big town. And so they are coming. The first, our assessor right now, she may or may not go full time, but we need a full-time assessor. And this is a priority for us to make sure that every assessment, commercial and residential, are fair for everybody, because that's how your taxes are divided up, right? So we took honestly, we chose very carefully with people with a lot of skills. The assessor is a very qualified appraiser, and she is becoming she's getting her licensing for assessor. And the deputy assessor right now he was a county assessor in Minnesota. And if you speak to him, you will see the unbelievable breadth of knowledge that he has. And they are beginning to assess our assessments. So if you have questions or concerns, I really suggest that you bring it up to them or bring it up to me, and I'll be glad to talk to them. The great thing, what I love about them, because we can't interfere with assessments, we're not allowed to. However, I can ask them questions or put things forward to them. And as they see different things from different people, they're taking a look at what they have in front of them. But the most important thing is to look at everything. So also let me reassure you, we are not spending any money for a reevaluation. And in fact, and don't hold me to this, but I do not believe that they will be raising assessments this year. What they are going to start to do is look at the whole picture, because that's what you need to do. And you need to look at individual cases, but you need to look at the picture to make sure that every assessment is where it's supposed to be in terms of every other assessment, and everything is fair for everybody. Taxes are based on this, so the only issue should be fairness. They communicate with us, but once again, while we can't interfere, I want to say I am highly impressed with both of their skills. And I'll talk to you afterwards, but I really do encourage you to go and to talk to Rich, who was an assessor, and he really is quite impressive in his breadth of knowledge and experience, Minnesota or not, but he really is. So they are just beginning. But I really do suggest that everybody go and talk to him if you have questions, concerns, or you have questions about specific properties or your own property. Go and talk to them. There is the grievance process coming up. And we do encourage people, if you really believe that your house is not fairly assessed, anybody can grieve, right? But if you really believe that your house is not fairly assessed, talk to them first. And if it's appropriate, grieve in house. And what that allows them to do is take a good look at yours because they've never seen it before, right? So they're going to look at your assessment and they will explain it to you as they go if you get to sit down with it. And then you still retain the right to grieve in-house, and then you still retain the right to have a civil suit if you want that. So you're not giving up any rights and going and talking to them. But please understand also that they can't lower everybody's assessment. And it must be based on the actual value of the house. But I believe that every resident deserves the right to understand why they're assessed at what they're assessed, and they will take the time to explain it. So, but please, stay afterwards I'll be glad to talk to you. Does anybody else have any question or comment on town business? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, everyone. Okay. So my name is Beth Dutcher. I live in the town of Binghamton, Broome County resident. I am here today to speak about the lack of safe mental health practices and accountability. I'm here because Aslam Hegazi should still be here, getting the mental health care he deserved. Instead, he was shot 7 times in the chest in front of his family. That's not mental health care. That's not public safety. As people in positions of power, your first reaction should be to acknowledge the loss of life and the harm done to Aslam, to his family, and to the community, and to make sure this doesn't happen again. Not defend what isn't working or maintain the imbalance of power. The police, however we may feel about them, actually don't need defending. They already have immunity and public support. And whatever comes back on that report can just be ignored. We saw that happen 2 years ago in the city of Binghamton. The Attorney General found that a police officer, Brad Kaczynski, used excessive force, and they flat out rejected the findings. Nothing was done, and nothing changed. That's our unjust system. Accountability is about taking responsibility, addressing the harm, finding a way forward, and doing better. We already know that we need trauma-informed mental health professionals trained in de-escalation to be sent out anytime a person is in crisis. The data is already out there. We know this works. Where was the mobile crisis unit? Why weren't they deployed? Why are they underfunded? That's something you can be looking into right now. His family said that he contacted the Vestal Police Department the day before to let them know that he was unwell. That wasn't enough to spare his life. That was the most devastating part of this, is that he went out of his way. He went out of his way as a Muslim American man in the United States to try to save his life, and it wasn't enough. They still just saw a threat. We're expected to go about our lives as though the police aren't executing our neighbors. I can't do that because I'm also here because this affects me personally. And whether you realize it or not, it affects you personally as well. I'm just curious if any of you have children, grandchildren, friends, or loved ones with a disability who struggle with depression or anxiety, who are autistic, neurodivergent, a person of color, or an immigrant, or otherwise marginalized? I know I do.
Okay, ma'am, that's the end of your time. So you
And
won't-
they are all at higher risk of police violence. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And I'll say once again, literally, we're not allowed to discuss any specifics about anything.
I'd like to add, this is new and most people don't know it, but there is the 988 number to call. I highly advise calling that for people with mental health crisis. And it's been pushed in advertisements, but I don't think it's pushed out hard enough to help.
Okay,
No.
okay,
Okay.
okay. Okay. Okay, we have to leave it at that though, okay? But you can talk to us afterwards if you want. Thanks. So does any other member of the public wish to speak on town business? Mhm.
John Binghamton, I got this card in the mail. Senator Leah Webb's there with a veteran, 100 years, and there's an unnamed individual there. And that happens to be the town supervisor. So the gist of this card is Senator Leah Webb keeping money in your own pocket. I wish she'd stop. We got taking money out of our pocket, including money for her campaigns. The irony of this, of posing with a World War II veteran, is that Leah Webb bought a McMansion in Johnson City for $373,000.
Hey, please, no, it can't be personal against anybody.
This is a public official. Why can't I'll continue talking. If you want to bet the town on stopping me from talk, that's your call. Go right ahead. So the First Amendment aside, and that's the trick, by the way. That's the trick, interrupting people so they lose track of their thoughts. You can read about this on my Substack, Binghamton Daily, John Solak. It's called Leah Webb, 2 terms of unmitigated gall. I supported Leah Webb when she was a councilwoman in Binghamton because I was foolish enough to believe her. But she's a gamer. She bought a house, and 5 months later, she defaulted on the mortgage. But what's worse is she went to legal aid, which has 125% criteria of poverty, and got a legal aid attorney to represent her in her personal foreclosure. What's worse than that is that she got a grant for Legal Aid Society in Binghamton of $80-some thousand. So she's using our tax money to give to legal aid, and then a year later they represent her, even though she makes $150,000 plus 30. They represented her in a foreclosure. That's what I call a crook. That's what I call a crook, and a lot of other people would call a crook. But getting back to this veteran, this picture of Maria and Leah and the veteran. Worse yet, she didn't use a realtor, by the way.
Yeah.
Can I have the balance?
He's violating the rules of being personal and disparaging somebody. Yeah, I'm going to call it out of order.
You're gonna prevent me from speaking about the New York State senator that you posed with a picture of.
The rule is very simple. It cannot be personal. You cannot disparage. You cannot make personal attacks.
All that
It
is.
cannot be personal. You want to talk about town business? You're welcome to do that.
I'm exercising my First Amendment
Okay.
rights.
No.
The First Amendment rights that you signed an oath to. Can I have my time back? Can I have the time back?
Mr. Solak, please take a seat.
Please take a seat. Why? I didn't get my time.
Take a seat. You're out of order.
I'm out of order. Why am I out of order?
Okay. So can I have a motion to adjourn? Thank you, Matt. And seconded, Sue? Thank you. So all in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Un-
Thank you. Oh, did, yeah, we're already adjourned. I'm sorry. Yeah.